Hello, everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of The Local Loop. I am Trevor Medema, here with the other co-host,
Dion DeGennaro.
and today we're gonna talk about some developments in downtown Farmington, some new additions. But first, let's talk about what has happened since the last episode. So how was your holiday weekend, Memorial Day weekend?
It was good. It was quiet. We went to the farmer's market for the second time, picked up some native plants, headed up to Farmer John's, bought some soil, moved 6,000 pounds of soil, my truck's worth of soil.
Did they put it in your truck?
No, I did it, dude. I
With a shovel?
Well, it was bags. So I was carrying 50 bags in and out and then loading it and then unloading it and then carrying them to the beds. Yeah, it was a fun weekend. I did not leave the house except to go pick up soil pretty much all weekend. And I fished too. I went to Kensington and don't go to Metro Parks on a holiday weekend. It is terrible. It was a nightmare.
Really?
It was so packed. Yeah.
Fish.
At Kensington, off the banks, I was checking out the whole park, and I did not make it to that side because you have to walk around the lake to get there. And I didn't want to scare you. It's to get to that side, it's a 2-mile walk. Yeah.
I think you can start. What's that park that's to the south? That side, they're actually connected. Is that Island Lake? So there's a parking lot right
there. Is, and I did go to Island Lake after I got so fed up with how busy Kensington was, and Island Lake was the only place I caught a fish when I.
Oh, really? What'd you catch?
Caught a bass, largemouth. Yeah. Classic. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, dude. That's cool.
Yeah, so it was low key. No,
it was grinded.
It was a grind weekend.
Were you
catching up?
Was it raised flower beds? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Or vegetables?
Both. So actually, this year we're kind of adopting the I forget what it's called, but not monoculture. So we're mixing everything kind of together. So we're gonna have vegetables and flowers growing next to each other to kind of help support pollinating each other, that kind of stuff. So the flowers are going to attract the bees that the vegetables also need for pollination. So we're trying something new this year. I don't know.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we're just learning how to be better farmers.
I guess so. Do you have a deer fence?
No, don't have a deer fence. I've been spraying some Repel All, and then so we also have. So it's illegal to feed deer in Farmington and Farmington Hills, but we have bird feeders, so stuff falls on the ground, and I don't go out of my way, but yeah, so they go more for that kind of stuff than they do for our vegetable plants and stuff. Thankfully.
Do you think that because you have that, it helps offset the meat?
Oh, absolutely, totally, 1,000%.
Because I have this chicken wire masterpiece
on your raised bed,
around the raised bed.
Yeah,
and it's it looks like a tier 1 prison facility, man.
For your vegetables, no one in or out,
and it's you got to squeeze in there to maintain them.
Do you have a door on it, or is it just you just unhook the loop and then put it back?
We have because we have the walkout basement.
Yeah,
our bed is pretty close to the house. Okay. So deer really can't get in between it's an herb box. We only grow herbs in between the herb box and our house. So it's really just a 3-sided fence because a lot of our backyard's trees. So we're the most sun coverages, which is right next to the house, which is kind of messed up.
That is, yeah. You kind of want the opposite,
right? And so it's crazy though that it's right next to our house and they'd still come up.
The deer. So you had a much.
My fiance and I did our first movement weekend.
Your first one?
Yeah, first one down in Detroit. It was such a good time, man. We went every day, Saturday through Monday. And the first day we actually Ubered down, Ubered back, but the last 2 days we actually just drove. But it was, man, all the sets were amazing. I love the Detroit atmosphere.
For sure.
It feels so Detroit.
There's a lot of love for the city at that festival in particular too. Detroit being the birthplace of techno, it's a really important festival for the city. What was your favorite act that you saw?
Man, it's almost hard to answer because so many of them are so good. But I feel like Jeff Mills was one of my favorites, which was the headliner of the first night on Saturday at the Movement stage. Jason Status was phenomenal.
That name, that's a name that when I was like in college 20 years ago, that was like my jam. And I can't believe they're still like banging festivals.
Still, I mean, there's so many people that are like up there, and you're just like, how do they get down so hard? And they're like you saw them in public, you'd be like, that person's not a DJ, right? Well, that is the essence of being a DJ, though. Like that's the culture. It is. But I mean, I think we didn't drink the whole weekend.
Oh, interesting.
Which is the only way I got through.
Yeah, I don't know how people get through a festival drinking, but I'm also like an old man now, so I get it. That's good though.
But definitely enjoyed ourselves in other capacities. It was just all around good time. Though definitely will be back. I think we're gonna add it to the annual list of things we do. How can you not after you go and have such a good time? I'm trying to think of other highlights. I mean, it was just definitely seeing acts that you would never go pursue outside of that. Was really cool. Just like stumbling up to a stage and you're just like, who's this? And you're like, oh, they sound amazing.
Yeah, you're like, whoa, I had no idea. Yeah, I haven't been to a movement in probably, before COVID for sure. But I used to go a lot even before it was movement, I went to Demph back in the day, and then when it turned into movement, I actually did some event photography there and shot a couple years. I shot the whole weekends as like an independent journalist, and it was cool. And it's even bigger now than what it was then, and it's cool to see it grow and continue to grow and be like this mecca festival for people to come from all over the world to see the city.
All over the world.
Yeah. Was that your experience too? Because like when I used to go, it was like Germans. There's tons of Germans that would come in and go like underground techno festival kind
of. I mean, to say where is hard for me because I feel like a lot of these people when I converse was either late in the night and I'm like, that's not English.
That is a strange accent.
Or a strange accent. And it was cool though. It was cool that I feel like I've known that Detroit has had this international presence for just electronic music, but to see it live and in person, just like had that effect on the rest of the world. Really, was super cool.
Yeah.
And hearing from some of these international artists when they would speak, when they're on stage, just say the same thing, right? That they're so excited to be there because it's had such an and it's crazy to have back-to-back weekends because this weekend now is the Grand Prix in down.
Is it really? I actually did not know that. So they have to flip everything over.
Well, so like there's some of the grandstands down there. Oh yeah, a lot of it was already. Like the track is set up last weekend. There's a lot of the grandstands were. I think some of the temporary structures weren't yet. But no, it's a big shift.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge for the city too.
It is income, right? I mean, that's a lot of money generated between 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's huge. So that's probably like two of the bigger events of the year other than like the auto show for the city. And even the auto show now is.
And then the Pride Fest is next weekend.
Oh, it's June, isn't it?
Yes. So it's 3 weekends of just Detroit just getting hit with people, which is awesome, dude. Summer's here. I love it, man. Love to see it. It was a great weekend. And get down there for the Grand Prix if you can. Today is actually the free day.
Is it really?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
I don't know if you can walk the paddock, the paddock. I don't know how to say it. Is it paddock? I think it's paddock. You can walk all of it for free. I believe. I know you can get into 2 of the grandstands for free. But tickets for tomorrow and race day, it's like not $80 to $90.
That's not bad.
Which isn't bad, but I remember being on Belle Isle, it was like $45. It was so cheap.
I have never been to a Grand Prix actually, and I used to be a huge car guy, and I've just never gone. But I'm like, when I say not bad, like I looked at like Formula One ticket prices and
not comparable.
And I was like, that's like a whole thing. Okay,
it's a whole thing, dude. I mean, it's to me it's too much, but different.
Yeah, it depends what you're into.
It's so popular. Formula One is, dude. IndyCar, it's getting there.
It's honestly it's getting there, and Detroit's also a really important thing for Indy too. Like Detroit Grand Prix was a huge race back.
I know Formula One.
Yeah,
They used to
they used to race Formula One, and so I like to see that continue to pick up popularity and become a big thing.
Our city's bustling, man. This is definitely good energy.
Well, Detroit's bustling, so is downtown Farmington.
So is downtown Farmington. I love that segue, Dion.
So, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. I mean, I was blown away by the number of people at the farmers market over the weekend. And there's not even like, it's still like early farmers market too. It's not like there's not that much veggies. It's a lot of like plant sales, flowers, that kind of stuff. But like the food is not even fully there yet. And the tragedy of it, Memorial Day weekend, you know who wasn't there? The donuts.
They were there.
They had a sign up that said they had mechanical issues.
No, mechanical.
And there's like, sorry, no donuts this weekend. So there was no line. People had to be bummed.
The shake machine was down.
The donut machine was down.
That was hilarious. I don't know why I thought about McDonald's when they said technical difficulties, but
they did. A sign said like or mechanical difficulty.
Oh, that's hilarious. What are some of your favorites to market? Like some of the pillars that you're like, you look forward to seeing these vendors every weekend?
Honestly, like the knife sharpening guy. Cause like, I can sharpen knives. I know how to do it. I have like, I'm one of those weirdos that has like, I carry like a set of pliers with me and I carry a pocket knife just for my line of work. It's very convenient to have. And so it's really nice to get like a affordably priced professional sharpening on my tools. And then like Jackie loves to cook. We have a lot of kitchen knives. And again, it's really nice to be able to put some cardboard over my kitchen knives, go take it to the guy. He will sharpen it as we're walking through the farmer's market. And then they're done by the time we're done. And it's $30-$40. And I'm like, okay, yeah, done. Easy. That's easy. So I like that. And then it lasts like through half the year. And then we take them again before like at one of the last farmers market days to get through the winter. And so that's really nice. Before Canal had a storefront in downtown, that was like my favorite. Because we would get usually a baguette and a loaf of bread every week. And then they open up the storefront. So, but we still get our bread from the farmer's market. We don't even go to the storefront. So we don't need to. So I really like that. And then there's an Asian, like I want to say Chinese vendor that's by the pavilion every year, and they have really, really good like Asian cuisine food that you can buy and cook at home.
Why have I missed this? Or maybe I probably have, and I probably just didn't stop.
Yeah. I mean, it's right next to the pavilion. It's between the pavilion and the park area.
Okay.
And it's a bigger tent. And he has great stuff there. And so actually he had a lot of Asian pepper plants.
What?
So like shishi.
Like potable, like that you're supposed to take home and grow.
Oh, so I could cut out the middleman and just get the peppers, and I don't have to buy it if I really wanted to. But he's a really nice guy. He might this weekend.
We're Liv and I are going to go this weekend, I think. Check it out, because we're going to be in town. So I feel like it's so funny, because you say your favorites and my favorites, I feel like is like all the consumable food.
You like the food? Yeah, like you want like a food truck rally there too.
For sure. Like last time I mentioned the smoked fish guy, and there's another gentleman there that has a bakery. I don't know if he has a bakery. I think that his how he sells is like online and then these type of setups at farmers markets. But I believe he's like, I don't know specifically what country he's from, but I want to say it's one of the he's from like the Balkan region.
Okay.
And he has this lemon poppy seed roll.
Oh, and that sounds.
Oh, it's so good, dude. So good. It's my favorite. And I actually got burnt out on it last year because I bought it like every weekend. But all this stuff is so good. And it's like it's so funny because it never feels like they have a variety, like different varieties of vendors. Like it's typically the same people.
Same. Yeah, it's the same.
But it's also nice because it's dependable and
Yep. You know what you're going to get. And actually what I learned too, when we went 2 weekends ago, was there was a guy there who was selling like native plants. And like it was a specific booth of like different types of sunflowers, different types of sedge grasses, which are just like those long grasses, milkweed, stuff like that. And we talked to him for a bit, and we ended up buying some stuff from him just to add to our garden. And we asked him like, where are these from? Like, are you a farmer? Are you a professional grower? No, he lives at 12 in Orchard Lake, and he grew all of these native plants in his yard and is selling at the farmer's market. He just lives in like a house at 12 in Orchard, and like, yeah, no, but I thought it was really cool that this was like a resident just growing stuff in his yard, and he's able to sell stuff at the early farmers markets before a lot of that produce and stuff comes in. Like, that's awesome. I love that we have that here in our.
It's cool. Yeah, produce comes in, it takes up so much space. And before we move on from the market, I think it's important to recognize and just spend a minute talking about like all the work that goes into that market and why it is so good. It's obviously not all one person. It's absolutely a team of people, but headed by one person, Walt Gajewski, who is a super cool dude. If you don't know who he is, you'll definitely see him every market. You'll see him. He's usually the guy running around,
looking like he has 1,000 fires to put out. Yeah,
and but a great person for the community, and just gives so much of his time. And I would say that he is a big reason as to why that market is as good as it is. Exactly, award winning. So if you don't know who he is and you have a conversation with somebody down there that says right on a lot right after you say something, they say right on, then that's Walt. You'll know.
The
right on guy. And he's a super cool dude. I just wanted to give him that.
I've actually never met him, so I need to try to talk to him too.
Cool. But yeah, the market, man, it's great. For those of you who haven't been there, like, I don't know. I don't think there are anybody that's going to listen to this that hasn't been down.
Yeah, but if you haven't, you need to go. It has gotten to the point for us that once the produce does come, like we don't even go to grocery stores for our produce anymore. Like we're going to support the local farmers at our farmers.
100%, man.
So yeah, while we were down there, I was actually pulling up, and we passed Riley Park, and because that's the one next to the Blue Hat Coffee, right?
Riley?
Yeah.
So Riley Park is the park that's in front of the farmers market. So we're the Sunquist Pavilion is the big pavilion. So that where they have the ice rink, that's Riley.
Got it. What's the name of the park that's next to Blue Hat?
So that is going to be, I want to say it's like the Masonic Corner.
Yeah.
It says something to do, and we should know this. And I'm saying that I'm criticizing myself for not knowing the legit name of it, but I do know that the reason that it has a Masonic name is because it's the Masonic Lodge owns the old town hall
Called the Masonic Plaza.
The Masonic Plaza wasn't far off, and if you notice the actual design, the brickwork of that park, it is the square and compass.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah.
Okay, this weekend I'm gonna go look at it.
Check it out, and you'll see that it is the outline of the square and compass, and the fire ring, which also has a name to it. Don't know it, but it sits in the middle of that. And so there is definitely, as being the Masons helped design it, there's a lot of meaning behind it. But it is a super cool new park, and I love that.
It is. So we were driving to the farmers market on Farmington Road, passing it, and then there was like a ceremony happening, and they, I think, lit the fire for the first time at that ceremony, and there was a lot of people checking it out, and I was like, I had no idea what I was looking at, but I was like, this seems really important and cool, and so that's going to be a really nice park. We usually will get like a sandwich at Pecorinera and then go to that park and sit down and eat it, so that's a good spot to hang out.
Am I crazy, or did they change their bread?
They changed their menu and their bread. So now, Coronera news update. They kind of simplified their menu, which makes a lot of sense for restaurants these days. They got rid of some options, and then most of their sandwiches now come on a focaccia roll instead of like an Italian roll.
Ciabatta, no more ciabatta.
Nope, and they don't have the ciabatta anymore. And weirdly, so I had a full company meeting for my business this week, and I usually pick up Coronera for everyone. Because I love it, and again, I'm trying to support local business. So, one of my employees had a sandwich that he really likes called the Hamboni, and they don't have it anymore.
Which is like, I think a pretty
It's a popular sandwich, and the reason why they don't have it is that I guess they're not carrying mustard anymore either, which to me is wild. Like, I don't know how you can be a sandwich shop and not have mustard, but they're doing it. And maybe it's like not Italian. Like, I don't know. Is it not Italian enough? I don't know. But they added a couple new sandwiches, which are really good. They have a spicy Caesar, which is one of my faves. And so there's some new things to try.
Besides, we're in there, like, I would say a little over a week ago, and I was like confused because I usually know exactly what I get when I go in there, and I'm like,
all the numbers.
yeah, I'm totally trying to figure it out. I'm like, am I have like early onset dementia here, or because I'm having an episode right now in front of this person that's trying to take my order, and then I had gotten, I don't remember what sandwich I got, but I'm like, this is like, it's different.
Yeah.
It's still good. It's still good.
Still really good.
Definitely don't want it to sound like we're talking shit about
about one of our favorite local restaurants, but no, they did change their menu. So that park was improved. What other improvements? They actually built another, like, is it called like a micro park or something like that? Pocket park. Yeah. They built a pocket park next to the brewery and next to like the smoothie.
So it's technically in between Sip Smoothie Bar, and then there's like it's a Thai massage parlor.
Okay.
Which that sits in between the park and the brewery. So it's called the Dinan Park.
Dinan Park.
Dinan Park. And it's a really cool park. It also has fireplaces or fire pits that are gas. And also, by the way, for those fire pits, as well as the fire pit for the park we were just referencing, which is the Masonic Plaza, which is at the corner of Farmington Road and Grand River. Those are all can be turned on by anybody. It's a button.
That's so
you just press the button and you can use it. I don't know if it's year round, but I do know that it's most of the year. And so the Dinan Park is a pretty cool park. Liv and I will sometimes, because Farmington is like and I don't want to say open queue.
It's an open carry for no, what's that called? Like, they have open container laws, or no open container. You can have open containers,
but I believe it has to be from one of the businesses.
You can just go down with like a fifth cup. Oh, they have cups. Okay, I was wondering. I've never done it, so they have cups.
And so it's like called the Social District or something.
It is called the Social District.
And so you can get beers and take them to these parks and sit. Anybody can do this.
It's one of those, they're called third spaces, where you can just go and hang out and loiter.
Yeah.
And there's no expectation of spending money, which is getting harder and harder to find in the world today, unless you're in Farmington and Farmington Hills, where we have great park system, great urban parks. And so, yeah, I think thriving communities need those types of things for like community meeting spaces. And so is there improvements happening to Riley Park and the pavilion this year also?
So I would say
there's always stuff going on.
I know, like, just to add another pocket park that they're building right now is they're building a park that is going to connect Riley Park to the new Robertson Brothers development.
Oh.
That is the old Maxfield training site. And so that park is in between. They demolished an old house, which is so sad. But I mean, it kind of comes with the territory, right?
That's development.
That's development. And so they're adding a new pocket park, which is going to have, actually, I believe, a water feature. Super cool.
Yeah.
And that the whole point of that is to connect that development to the downtown Riley Park.
Okay.
And but besides that, I know that we just got a new mural on the side of the Sunquist Pavilion, which is the pavilion in Riley Park, and that came from a program that the Detroit Institute of Arts actually puts on. So it was technically commissioned by them that we were
Partnership.
yeah, we'd gotten on a list and had been selected to be the beneficiary of that. And you can see that on each side of like essentially the end caps of this pavilion. You'll notice that there's a very colorful mural. I don't remember where the artist is from. I know it's from the area, but I don't remember what city he specifically was from. I don't think it was Farmington or Farmington Hills. That was a super cool development just to get selected for that. And I didn't know this until I actually saw Jess, it's bad I can't remember her last name, but she's actually our new executive director or CEO of the downtown development, the DDA, the Downtown Development Authority. So she spoke at this nonprofit that I'm a part of, and she had brought up we actually were in this contest, and it's a contest that covers the whole U.S. and it's on recognizing there's a winner every year, and it's recognizing like this like revitalized downtown area, like the most beautiful. But it has a different.
Is it the Great American Main Street Award?
That's exactly. Thank you, Dion. I appreciate you. And so we had come in. Does it say what place we came in?
Semi-finalists.
Semi-finalists, dude. And I think who we lost to, were they in New Mexico?
I do not see.
It doesn't say that. And so I mean, just to come in second place, I mean, that's amazing, dude. That means it shows like on a national level.
It's top 10 in the country, basically top 8 in the country.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. That's so cool. So yeah, it was Kate and I at the time. That was our old executive director, she is now the executive director for the Northville DDA, which is ultimate. That's
also like, that's great area too.
Yeah, I'm happy for her because that's her home.
Yeah, that's nice.
But she led so much good work here.
For sure. Oh no, this is so I'm reading a year in review from last year for downtown Farmington. And so from 2003 to 2024, so over the last 20 years, there has been more than $10 million of new investment in downtown Farmington, more than $20 million of that's public investment, $20 million of private investment into downtown Farmington, 22 new construction projects, 100 building rehabs, only 33 housing units prior to this.
That's a little packed.
That's not enough, in my opinion. 75 new businesses over the last 20 years, 640 new jobs, 700 special events, which is, that's wild. 77,000 volunteer hours total over the last 20 years, and over $800,000 of sponsorships. Just last year, almost $1 million of public investment in downtown Farmington.
It's like crowdfunding.
Public means like tax dollars and that kind of stuff. It depends on the crowdfunding mechanism. So sometimes there's like a match. Sometimes it's like a public-private partnership kind of thing. There was $500,000 of private investment last year, 5 new businesses. Stuff is happening in downtown.
You can see it live and in person. You just go down there.
How you mentioned the new. Let's talk about that new housing development.
Yeah.
You know a lot more about it than I do. So tell me about what's going on.
It's crazy, man. It's a crazy time to buy a house.
You would know.
So like I had mentioned in the first episode when we really kind of got into the in-depth introduction, I mentioned that I am in real estate, heavily in residential. And just to see what's happening with the housing and in the Farmington area, Farmington Hills included, but specifically right now, just per the conversation, Farmington, just the inflation of housing, right? And where we're at, it's
the cost.
the cost, just the cost, right? And our taxable value is a whole separate conversation, which I think we should talk about, but just the housing cost itself to buy, it's not affordable anymore.
No.
It's just, it's not.
There is no such thing as like a starter home anymore.
I think the cheapest house you can get in the area, and it's technically Farmington Hills, and it's going to be down, at 8 Mile and Grand River area.
By Botsford.
Yeah, Botsford, exactly. Botsford. It's so funny, Botsford. It was like 3 hospitals ago. So you're going to get a 700 square foot house for $160,000.
Wow.
700 square feet on a slab.
Honestly, so you don't even have a basement.
Nothing.
Do you have a garage on that? Yeah, because I know some homes over there don't even have garage.
They don't. A lot of them don't. And 160,000. And it's like, oh my gosh, I feel like 10 years ago, you could get a house on Lakeway, which is my street, for that.
Yeah, for sure. 10, 15 years ago, a ranch at 12 in Farmington was like 200. So there's no affordable housing. And why is that, in your opinion? There's a lot of different factors that go into it, but so why specific? Like, what factors in Farmington do you think contribute to the inflated housing price?
Well, definitely inflation of the dollar.
Yeah.
That's definitely no secret. Cause and effect.
Demand and housing.
Demand and housing. I think for the longest time, I would say, especially in the COVID years, it almost made sense to build a house because it would cost the same amount of money.
Absolutely.
Right. And now that's being played with a little bit and can be almost said to be true because
Costs.
Material costs are increasing and labor costs are increasing. So now it's a crapshoot of either way.
It's a crapshoot either way. And like, for instance, the new townhouses, the Robertson Brother developments.
And that's a long time to get approved.
Right. It took a long time to get approved, and they're townhouses. So, I mean, we're talking about a very niche client because
it's the new starter. Well, my opinion is that starter homes are gone and townhomes are the new starter homes.
Condos, man.
Yeah. Townhomes and condos are the new starter homes.
And so what you're going to do is, I mean, no one, like at your age, there is no aging clientele because it's a bunch of stairs.
Yeah.
Right. To get to your bedroom, it's going to be like 3 flights of stairs.
So who's the buyer for a town? It's like a 30-year-old.
It's like, yeah, it's going to be a dual income couple or a single 30-year-old person.
Yeah.
Correct. And by all means, that's definitely not all it's buying on, but I think a vast majority of it, just summarizing a group of people, that's who it's going to be. But 400,000, man, just under 400,000.
So those are starting at 400,000.
Just under, yep.
385.
390. This is 396, and then like is a really specific number.
Okay. That's a lot of money for a starter home.
Yeah.
And so how do you bring that price down then?
You can't.
You can't? I think you can. I mean, you have to increase supply.
But here's the thing: is you're working towards something that's already hard enough, right? But now you have all these people that are buying these places,
and they're selling too. They're not. They're
right.
not sitting.
They're not sitting. They're selling. And I actually believe that they started lower. It was like they started 360, and they had so much demand that they're like, all right, we got to raise the prices for that development specifically. And but what you're seeing is, especially for people that have bought within the last 3 years that are trying to sell, it's really hard. Their margin for their ability to sell is so slim without losing money
On what they've done.
And whether that's just moving in the last couple of years or refinancing.
Mm-hmm.
We've started to notice more of our clientele kind of running the roadblocks with that. Just because we've really plateaued because we had such a huge growth during COVID, because it was going bonkers. I mean, as a real estate agent, you had to have a pulse to sell a house. Like, it took nothing.
20 to
Yes.
3,
I mean,
essentially.
you like didn't have to advertise and people were calling you offline.
They're ready to move.
Right.
Because everyone was stuck at home. So they're like, well, I want a better place.
Yeah. 100%. And there was bidding wars all over. I mean, I saw crazy things get done to get houses. Right.
Yeah. I think we've all heard stories. Yeah.
Story.
Yeah.
And so, Yeah. Passing up inspection periods and these people aren't contractors. I'm like, all right, like let's go play the lottery too and better like life safe.
And you bring up a good point, and I wanted to disagree with you that you can't decrease the price of housing, and I think that you can, but it is very difficult, and cities have to do things that they aren't necessarily inventory in the area. That, like, I know the city of Farmington Hills is changed and updated some zoning to allow flex zoning for retail and residential together, and they are looking to redevelop like the 12-mile corridor where it's just like vacant office buildings. I think they want to change that whole area into mixed use and make it more walkable. I think they want to turn 12-mile more into a boulevard. Actually, like that's in the new boulevard. No, like, well, like I would say west of Farmington Road.
Okay.
Where like they want to do it from Orchard Lake to Drake and turn all of that into a boulevard.
I don't know how I landed here, but I feel like we got to talk about
What is that?
Mercedes-Benz.
Oh, we should talk about that. We'll table it and talk about it because I have so many opinions on that too. But so the city is trying to increase housing supply, but at the start of this episode, we talked about all of the major improvements that
huge player in all.
And that is a huge player in all of that because you're creating a desirable community to live in, and then that means that people are going to pay more to live in that area because it's a good place to live. And actually the language that the city of Farmington uses to describe that and what they're doing is place-based community development. And so they're creating a destination within downtown Farmington, and cities do that in order to increase their tax base because it raises the values of properties, and there's not much land left that they can develop on. So the only other method that the city has beyond inflation to increase the tax base is to help raise the value of properties in the surrounding area.
And I think that right there is going to be a huge roadblock as far as decreasing value on purpose for property, because the more these houses sell for, the more money the city is making from taxes, right? Because I'm telling you what, someone that's lived here for 15 years versus someone that just bought their house last year, the taxes could be double. And they could be right next to each other.
I was having a conversation with my neighbor. I'm in Farmington Hills, which has notoriously high taxes. And he's been in his house for like, I want to say like 20, 25 years. He told me he pays $3,000 a year in taxes in Farmington Hills, which I'm like, that is nothing.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, my tax bill in Farmington Hills for the year is like $8,500 a year.
Yeah, mine's $5,100.
And that's crazy. And I bought mine in 18, and it's
crazy.
Like, yeah, it's like $8,500. I bought an 18.
Do you know, I remember when I learned this, but I think our millage rate is like 0.39.
Can you quickly describe a millage rate to what people who might not understand?
So a millage rate is essentially the measurement of how much your taxable value compared to what you actually get taxed is. And so just to compare where we're at, like 0.39 for homestead, because you gotta understand there's two different tax rates. There's the homesteaded tax rate, and then there is a non-homesteaded tax rate. So that's what people that own rentals are paying.
It's not your primary house.
Correct. Not your primary house, or it's an income property. And so that rate's going to be substantially higher. I'd say typically 15%.
Wow.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And so we're comparable to Birmingham as far as taxable rate goes. But the reason that their taxes are so much is because the real estate's so much more expensive.
Yeah, Birmingham's, yeah.
I mean, it's just a percentage.
Just a percentage.
And so why would Farmington's tax rate be higher? Like, what factors go into that?
I mean, I think a lot of it goes into community services.
Okay.
I mean, if you think about our service as far as Farmington goes, is pretty
great service.
It's very wide scale. And I say that, like, we have leaf pickup, man. Like, they come and pick up our leaves. Oh yeah, they don't have that in Farmington Hills, do they? And I mean, if you just look at what's going on in downtown Farmington, I think a level of our property taxes do go into that. And also, I think just from an operational standpoint, it's
$1 million of tax dollars last year into developing downtown Farmington.
And just the costs are going up for things, everything to operate as a business, because the city really is a business at the end of the day.
It is, absolutely.
But there is one of, I would say, affordable housing. It's not permanent residence, but it's rentals. And it's ironically right at the end of my street, at the end of Lakeway in Grand River, where the American Legion was, that they just tore. It's going to be called Legion Square, I believe. And there are going to be 30 units, rentals, 2-bed, 2-bath, 14, I think it's like 1,400 and some odd square feet, with a garage, townhouse style. It's going to be $2,000 a month.
Wow, that's actually not bad.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
And do I love that there's going to be a 30-unit development right across my street? As far as turning in, like, just for traffic standpoint, nothing else. For the traffic standpoint alone, turning in, it's going to be interesting to see how much it affects it. But I love it, man. I love that there's going to be affordable housing, because Farmington's a great downtown, and I do believe that everyone should have access to it.
I do too. And honestly, if you're worried about the traffic, the city's doing stuff to try to make it more walkable too.
They are doing that. So
I know they're doing a crosswalk study, which I think is still active, and
it's still active.
you can still give your input. It's on the City of Farmington's website. I gave input on it, even though I'm not a resident, just because of how often I'm down there and how often we go to the farmers market and being in the chamber and all of that. I felt obligated to kind of share what my thoughts were too. And
you deserve to have it.
So hopefully that helps with the traffic situation too. And then before we kind of diverge from talking about downtown Farmington and start complaining about development and then leaving of Mercedes, but there's a lot of really great events beyond the farmers market happening in downtown Farmington throughout the summer, into the fall, and even into the winter. Obviously, we've talked about the farmers market, and that goes from May through November. And there's produce, crafts, music, all of that kind of stuff. A couple events. There's a ton of events coming up. Art on the Grandis is coming up
Next weekend.
Is that next weekend too? And so that's a huge art fair. I don't know how long it's been going on, but it's been going on a long time.
Wow.
And they shut down.
Yeah, they shut down Grand River.
They shut down Grand River, and it goes from Grand River and Farmington all the way down to, I don't know if that is technically a road that goes in like next to Dearborn Music, but down to Dearborn Music.
Okay, wow.
And just
huge.
It's like, I want to say it's a couple hundred vendors.
It's got to be that big.
And it's so good. There's so many cool crafts there. I love it. It's a good time.
So yeah, I definitely go every year to that. Beginning June 13th, there's going to be free Friday night concerts on Riley Park called Rhythms in Riley Park. And have you been to one of those?
I had walked
Past them, because if you don't get there early,
Does it fill up?
it's packed, dude.
Awesome.
And
Cool.
And I really and I think so much of it goes into like the music that they have there, because if you look at the genre of just the schedule, it's very much on par, especially for like all the other music events that happen in Farmington, like the Founders Festival and stuff. It's like 50 Amp Fuse, and which is a classic rock band.
Is it like cover bands and like easy listening kind of stuff? Cool. I mean, it's a good time.
Music is music to me, right?
I mean,
Do I wish that they had a wider variety? I mean, yeah, we all have what we want, but it doesn't mean that it's right. So I've never gone. I've never gone to, but it always seems like a cool vibe.
We need to make an effort to go down. We should do a double date and head down one Friday this summer, a couple Fridays this summer. And then they got lunch beats at the Pavilion starting June 11th for lunchtime music. They got like literally every park they got stuff going on. Denon Park on Thursday nights, there's going to be live music for 2 hours, 6 to 8 every Thursday. I don't know when this starts. It might have already started, but Farmington Fit is at Memorial Park on Monday nights starting in June. Where's Memorial Park?
Memorial Park is going to be the one that is by the town hall. The new town, like I say new, it's not new, but it's for.
Is it the one? Is it so it's on the back side of it?
It is exactly. And so which is a kind of an overlooked.
That is, I honestly have never been to that one. I don't think
it's overlooked, but there's so many.
It's cool. It's crazy. And then mid-July, honestly, my favorite, the Founders Fest.
The Founders.
And last year was like the bicentennial, wasn't it, for that?
So
Yeah.
201.
201 years. That's crazy. I can't believe Farmington's been around that long.
The Quakers.
I love the Quakers.
Me too. We wouldn't have Farmington without them.
They're definitely good people. And what's really cool about Founders Fest, is just I love that there's a beer tent, and it does get a little rowdy.
Does it
really? I can't say I've gotten rowdy
because it's hot.
It is hot,
and so like that plays in a factor. A little bit of a social experience.
So what's funny about the Founders Fest is it's kind of like a culmination of all the things.
Yeah,
because they do art. They have live music. They have food. There's a parade. Yeah. So it's kind of like a culmination of all.
And be on the lookout in the parade for the Founders Fest this year, because you're gonna see a special float.
Are you promoting something?
We are, yeah. We're saying it's gonna be a plug for holidays.
No way.
We're gonna actually get Santa to be in the parade.
No way. Christmas in July. That's so awesome. That's so great. And so like going into the fall, you've got the Harvest Moon celebration,
which is my favorite.
You like that?
I love it.
I like the fountain
because it's not so hot. It's not so hot, and I love, and I get why they do Founders Fest where they did last year, which is in the parking lot, the big parking lot. But I love being like in the Riley Park, and they decorate it so well with all the it's very harvest oriented,
harvest, fall, and then also don't they kind of like tie in the Raven Festival into?
They do a little bit
too. Yeah, that's another they like October kind of for like their spooky time thing. They do like the Raven Fest where they hide ravens everywhere, and I think there's like I know for kids they have like a Find the Raven.
Have you done it? Have you been involved with that?
No.
I've never.
I took my photo in front of the giant raven at the Masonic Park,
which is really funny because I think that people always need something to complain about. Right?
Yeah,
they always do.
People have
someone needs something to focus on. But I don't remember who it was specifically that was talking to me. They're so heated about the Raven Fest because they had felt like it was
like satanic.
Satanic. But like I can't believe the city would support a satanic cause. I'm like, oh my God.
It's ravens.
It's like people.
Yeah.
Ravens are kind of freaky though. Like I'm not gonna lie. Them as a bird, like they're so intelligent, dude.
They are.
They're so.
Don't get me started on birds. I could talk like point about it. They're an episode. We'll talk about like heritage and birding, and maybe we'll do like a fall migration episode or something. And then finally, like one of the last bigger things is holidays, which you kind of plugged already, but go into holidays.
So holidays has been going on for a long time. And just to give a quick backstory, we are, because my real estate team, Compo and Metama Real Estate Group, actually just took the festival on.
Yeah.
So we were the promoters of the festival along with Z Painting, who a lot of people that are involved in the community know the name. We literally took on everything from the Greens Market. Walt Gajewski still oversaw, which was a huge blessing because I couldn't do it, to be honest with you.
Institutional knowledge.
Exactly. Yeah. And what had happened was the Chamber of Commerce didn't want to host it anymore. They couldn't because they were really shifting their focus and refocusing on the members. And the city, understandably so, also didn't have the manpower to take on this.
They had a lot of other things going.
So it wasn't going to happen. there wasn't going to be a holiday.
And that's crazy because that's like another tradition too of downtown Farmington for a lot of people.
And so this was all kind of happening in front of Annette and I, who is my business partner and mom. She's been in the industry forever, 40 years, just over 40 years. She also serves on the chamber board with me. So this kind of unfolded in front of us, and we're like, we can't let it die. We'll do it. Just as we take on all other things. So we got into it last year. It was such a good time. It was great for our business, great just for the community, which is the sole purpose behind doing it. But what we wanted to do this year is enhance it. Yeah. Last year was doing it.
That was the transition year.
So it was just making it be successful.
Yeah, not letting it stop. You're kind of like just treading water, trying to getting it going.
So this year, be on the lookout. There's going to be some new developments. We're still working through them with the city on what we can and can't do, but we're looking to make it bigger and better.
Details to come, I'm sure.
Details to come.
Yeah, we'll go over it on a more timely episode closer. But yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys run with on that because I know you have great ideas. So it'll be a good time. So yeah, there's if you basically what we're saying is there is no reason for you to be bored if you're in Farmington or Farmington Hills because there's a ton of stuff to do and most of it's free too, which is amazing.
It is.
So you want to talk Mercedes and
real quick, let's talk Mercedes and then we can wrap it up because it's been a good episode. We talked about a lot, but we touched it. I don't want to leave it till next time. So
it's timely.
12 Mile and Drake Road, Dion.
Where I grew up, right next to where I live.
Free soccer, man.
Played municipal soccer at soccer as an 8-year-old little boy in Farmington Hills, and as an adult played pickup games there all the time with my friends. Birded there, just hung out at that spot because it was publicly accessible, and I was really disappointed to see it was getting developed. The development was beautiful.
It's a sweet building.
Amazing looking building. Mm-hmm. I was happy that there were, I think it was like 400 jobs brought to Farmington Hills. Funnily enough, like Jackie, my partner, was even considering like applying to Mercedes Financial. Yeah. And because they are consolidating to their U.S. headquarters in Atlanta, and I get it. Like it's a huge business, and that's what they do. And now, what I'm not familiar with is if they had received any tax breaks to develop there, and I don't know. I did not do the research to find out if they did.
I try to do that mental math in my head of like trying to make it make sense, right? Yeah. Because they built this. I mean, I can only imagine how much this development costs them to build.
Millions had to be.
Less than 5 years old.
Yeah, what had to be tens of millions.
And now they're looking for a tenant to fill this whole space. I mean, this is a headquarters space for a lot of businesses. But they don't have anyone and they're out. And just about 400 people are out of jobs too. They're not transitioning them.
They're not transitioning them? I thought they said that they would be given the choice to relocate.
To relocate down to Georgia. My question is, what has the city done? Did something falter when it came to that deal to incentivize them to say, I don't know?
I would say, without knowing, I have a hard time blaming the city of Farmington Hills. Because I think that if you look at kind of large corporations in America right now, this is what a lot of them are doing.
Right.
And it's to save costs during a potential or realized economic downturn. And so that's how they do it, is they consolidate jobs, they consolidate real estate portfolio, they reduce expenses. And so I don't even know if there is anything the city of Farmington Hills could have done to prevent this, even if they said, okay, no taxes for 10 years, which they would never do. But I don't know if there was an option for them to try to retain Mercedes there.
Because I've always thought Farmington Hills as being like, there's a decent amount of large businesses headquartered here. I mean,
that is a big push.
Comerica is now headquartered and right there close by on 12 Mile. And I believe 5 Hour Energy is headquartered in Farmington Hills.
They were started in Farmington Hills too. I was actually a Farmington Hills resident that started that company.
Crazy. So I don't know. I'm curious. I want to learn more about that.
We'll do some digging and maybe get some updates in the next episode. We can talk about corporate structure of Farmington Hills, and maybe we can email some people within the city to try to get a little bit more information from the source about what they're.
It's what we need. But man, just a groundbreaking development in my opinion.
Huge. And it's what really bothers me too is they want to keep developing that all of that undeveloped land right there.
Are literally right now, and there's another sweet building, a lot smaller.
The GST building.
Yes, and you can see it. I think you can see it better from the highway. But I know that architect is from an Asian country. I don't know if it's Japan. I think it's Japan. Might be China. I believe it's Japan. But a well-known architect, and it has some really cool features to it.
So prior to Mercedes leaving, driving past it on the highway, I saw that they had a pond, and I was like, I bet there's birds and fish there. And then I looked on the map to see if I could get to it, and you can't get to it. But I was looking up about that development in particular because there's a lot of signage on it that it's like this new headquarters, and it's like a green development. And what's actually really cool about that development is they tried to maintain as many of the large mature trees as they could in that development. So it's like actually built into the woods, which you don't see on this large scale commercial development. Usually they clear cut stuff, which is what happened at the Mercedes development. So now it's just like nothing there. And if I would love to see Farmington and Farmington Hills make it a requirement of new development to tie into the existing landscaping as much as possible. Right now, as far as I know, there's nothing like that. But I think JST, which is right next to that Mercedes building, is setting a good example of if you are going to develop this 12-mile corridor, it should look like that. Because Farmington is known, and Farmington Hills is known for its green space, its large mature trees. We're one of the few outer suburb communities that when the development in these areas were happening, they didn't clear cut and they built it into the existing landscape. And that's one of the huge draws of housing in the area. It's not like a Royal Oak or a Madison Heights where they cut everything down, gridded it up, and then said, okay, here's your neighborhood. We have in some areas of Farmington old growth trees, which is a big draw for people. It's a big draw for me. And so if you're going to be doing commercial development, I would like to see that same level of
There's a decent amount in Heritage Park. Yeah, and you see them. We see them like that. That tree's old.
That tree's old. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's where we're at for this episode.
Thank you for making it this long.
So next episode, I think we got some developments, some changes, don't we?
Yeah, we're gonna have our first guest.
Are we
We're doing a guest. We're doing a guest. Sweet. Round table, probably, right?
Yep, we're gonna do a round table. Really just kind of add a new touch to it, and it's gonna be our first interview. So I'm really excited to see how it goes. Not gonna reveal who it is. I want to keep it a surprise.
Tease it. We'll tease it.
Yeah.
Before the episode.
But thank you guys so much, and thank you, Dion, as always. I love this. I'm excited for what's to come. Only our second one.
Yep.
But man, we can just sit here and talk, and I love that.
For sure. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for staying in the loop.
See you guys.